Resting on late Queen Elizabeth II's crown is one of the world's largest diamonds, the Kohinoor. But just like many other treasures, the Kohinoor has a bloody colonial past. The Kohinoor was unlawfully taken into British possession after the Treaty of Lahore, which the Indian population believe is a treaty of betrayal and a blatant violation of sovereignty. Yet the Kohinoor is not the only treasure that has been looted and not returned. Looting artifacts has long been a matter of debate, especially with regard to artifacts originating from non-Western nations. During the colonial era, looting was common for Western countries like Britain and France, who stole artifacts from their colonies in Africa and Asia. The act is considered an extension of colonialism and the exploitation of the natural resources of non-Western nations. It is frequently motivated by a desire for money and personal gain rather than the pretense allegations of protecting cultural heritage. Many artifacts have been stolen. As a result, many cultural sites and significant historical documents were destroyed. The looting of artifacts has repercussions on non-Western nations' cultural heritage by depriving them of significant objects and records that are essential to their history and identity. An infamous example is when the British looted the Benin bronze from Nigeria in the late 19th century. The Benin bronze are a group of sculptures and plaques made of bronze that were produced in the Kingdom of Benin, now southern Nigeria, between the years of the 13th and 15th centuries. During the punitive expedition in 1897, a military operation intended to punish the kingdom for defying British colonial rule, so the British took the bronze. A large portion of them were eventually sold to museums and private collectors in Europe and America, with only a small portion sent back to Nigeria. Looting of antiques from non-Western nations is an ongoing issue, not simply a historical one. Demand from Western collectors and institutions fuels a multi-billion-dollar business known as illicit trafficking in antiques. Many of these items are sold to Western collectors or museums after being illegally removed from their countries of origin, frequently under false pretenses. A modern-day example is the U.S. looting of Syrian artifacts. The U.S. occupation forces, who are deployed in cooperation with U.S.-backed SDF militia, play a major role in the widespread looting of Syrian archaeological sites in the war-torn country's Jazeera region, as well as their northern province of Raqqa. According to local Syrian sources, the U.S. forces occupy some of the most significant archaeological sites in the world, including Tel Baydar, Al-Hamma area, the limestone, Tel Muzan, and a series of hills in eastern countryside of Kamishli. Informed sources in the village of Al-Qahtaniya in the province of Raqqa affirm that U.S. occupation forces have stolen artifacts such as seals and statues from the archaeological site of Tel Leilan and transferred them to their illegal bases in Syria's northeastern province of Haska, where they will later be smuggled out of the country. Not far from Syria, the U.S. occupation also looted artifacts during its invasion of Iraq. Iraq's main Islamic and Christian treasures, including 6 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, have been looted from archaeological sites. U.S. occupation soldiers were caught with war trophies, gold-plated items from former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein's palace, and Iraq government seals and other ancient seals. It doesn't stop here. The US-led occupation not only damaged Iraq's movable artifacts, but also sabotaged the archaeological sites. The ownership of cultural heritage is considered an extremely contentious subject among different civilizations. While countries of origin contend that these artifacts should be returned, Western museums insist that they have a duty to preserve and display these treasures for the benefit of all humanity. The practice of looting artifacts is a continuation of colonialism and an exploitation of non-Western nations. Despite recent attempts to address the problem, there is a long way to undo damage done by centuries of looting.